attract the right man,
Mhm.
you have a man.
Mhm.
There's no need or the notion of you letting him be the
Mhm.
man.
As women, we know how to do and get and do everything that we need to do. We prefer not to do it, but when we see we have to do it, we do it.
I like what you said, defer. It's some men that will defer
Yeah.
because they're comfortable in not having any responsibility.
Mhm.
But that's not the right man.
Then that's when we
So I
have
was
a
waiting for you to go there because I knew
we,
you were.
we have a problem.
I knew you was gonna go there. Hey, yo, what's good, family? Welcome to another episode of the Late Night Traffic Report. It's your boy, Mr. Sencere. Tonight I have both of my co-hosts.
K. Callie.
Big Mike.
Tonight's episode is about passenger prince
And passenger princesses.
And broken promises.
Tonight we're talking about what it feels like to always be the one driving the relationship forward, whether it's emotionally, financially, spiritually, and how dating someone who's not ready to meet you where you're at will leave you running on empty.
Mm.
Let's talk about it. When you're always in drive and never in park. Let's talk about being the emotional leader in a relationship. Always doing the check-ins, managing the conflict, and maintaining the connection. Let's talk about it.
With that relationship, yeah, I guess all relationships gonna be different.
Okay.
That's the first thing. But within a relationship, a lot of things have to be discussed early. Because when you come into a relationship, as we all know, we're coming in with some things that sometimes we don't discuss. Some of them brokenness. For example, men not really knowing how to lead and how to be the head of a household, and vice versa. Women that are taught you don't need a man and how to always be a leader and not pulling back when you get in a relationship, understanding what's that role. Not saying you submissive to the point where you a slave, but submissive to the point where you allow him to become the head of the household.
So I'm going to play devil's advocate early in the segment.
Go ahead, let's do it.
Again, these are my 26 balls of being a man.
Let's get it.
Right? I take issue with any time I hear the notion that woman's letting a man be a man.
Okay.
I don't really understand that. What does that really mean? Because I don't think you can let a man be a man. A man is a man, and before everyone, get upset and it's a 50-year-old divorce. Yeah, it is. So
Yeah.
what I'm saying, if you attract the right man, you have a man. There's no need or the notion of you letting him be the man. That's not applicable to him.
So I'm gonna let Callie join, but I just want to segue for her. Your key word in that whole conversation was the right man.
Yeah.
So maybe instead of maybe you shouldn't say that. If you chose a little boy or a man-child, then you're gonna get man-child and little boy behavior.
But the reason I say right man is a lot of people don't choose the right man, and a man is not defined by his age.
That's my point. Yes.
So a lot of people, he or she is such and such age. That doesn't define womanhood or manhood. That's just an age. So when you say the right man or the right woman, that's a whole different category.
Yeah.
We speak in a whole different topic and language. So I'm gonna let Miss K go ahead and do her thing.
Let me get in.
Yeah.
That's a women's go-to retort or statement they like to make.
And I think, and I'm definitely gonna defend the ladies, but I think what I have to say first is, I think where that statement kind of comes from is sometimes as women, and it comes from a place of not having a man that is able or willing to step up So we have to stand up and be that, taking care of everything, leading the household. So when you do get in a relationship where the man may be qualified and someone that you can, let lead, we're still already conditioned to do it all ourselves. So I think that's where the statement comes from. We have to allow the space for it to happen. We have to get out our own way. And I think it's hard when you've been conditioned so many years and been through so many bad relationships and picked the wrong guy so many times. Even when you get that right guy, you still have to um you have to, that has to be undone. You have to be in a space now where you're going to allow it to happen.
So then the woman makes that statement.
Mm-hmm.
Is it more about the man that she is dealing with, or the conditioning, or the mindset that she has been indoctrinated? Because at the end of the day, like, you can't be more masculine than the man. And then on top of that, I think a lot of women fail to understand this. Men keep talking about this piece, but men like feminine women, right? So, in my observation, a lot of the women that we know, or the women that we are around, and they make that statement, they're overly masculine, right? Like Kevin Samuels used to say, you need to put your fake dick up because you don't have one. So, I think again that women need to really, if you and I do think it's conditioning.
It's
Right?
conditioning. I think that's what it comes
I do think it's conditioning, but I also think that when you're in the presence of a man, his actions and the way he governs his house, his relationship, spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally, it's going to be clear and very present from the very beginning. So I don't think that statement is applicable to that when you're dealing with a man.
I see what you're saying, and I think that can be true. You're saying like the man commands his
Respect.
his attention, and all of that good stuff. But I think it still won't work if that woman is conditioned the other way. So both things, they have to kind of meet where they need to meet. And I think honestly, I'm gonna say this. Honestly, I think it's more about in that scenario, if a woman has been through a lot and maybe been single or single mother or whatever, I think it's honestly more about her being that conditioning, uh getting that off of her, and being able to kind of breathe and kind of live and accept the soft girl era in life that she always wanted, but she kind of tucked in the back of her mind like this is never going to happen. So as women, we know how to do and get and do everything that we need to do. We prefer not to do it, but when we see we have to do it, we do it.
And I agree with both of you, but in my opinion, and my wife and I had a discussion. We were just talking to our oldest daughter, and she said something that was so profound. She said, I'm ready to become a wife. She said, because this paying the bills, this doing all this stuff is too masculine.
That shit ain't cool.
And that was the exact words. This stuff ain't cool.
Yeah, it sounds.
So, and her words was, I want a man not just to get married, but I want to be in my rightful role in life. And it's not a slavery. And see, a lot of times, my wife and I was talking about, modern women have a problem with the word submission.
Yes.
That word just tears them up, because submission to them in the modern world is like, you give up all yourself and all. No, submission is you holding his hands up. You're encouraging him at all times. You're pushing him to be better. You're pushing him to be the leader that he needs to be in the household. You're just pushing him. So submission is not giving up who you are. It's pushing him to be who he's supposed to be. That's the word submission really means. But in today's world, once again, like I said, these modern women they have confused their culture and the cultures behind them. Like, girl, don't submit to no man. It's not submitting where you're on your knees and yes, and let me get you slippers. No, it's submitting to pushing him to be a leader of this household spiritually, emotionally, mentally, financially,
Yes.
physically, because at the end of the day, he is going to push your family to the next level. But if you're constantly beating him down every time he makes a
Or
decision,
at odds or challenge.
right, or challenging everything he says, it's a way we discuss and in who we discuss it in front of. If you disagree and you have children, you don't do that in front of the kids. You wait till, okay, let's discuss. And it's a way you discuss. But in today's world, we have convinced the young ladies of the culture that you don't need a man. You don't have to submit. And it's tearing our culture up.
But I think it goes back to and with using this word.
Which one is
I guess we should go ahead and put it out for everybody to know that condition is the word of the night.
Oh, condition.
Word of the episode.
Conditioning.
Because I
Not the
think,
stuff you put in your hair after shampoo.
No, sir.
Okay. Not condition. Okay.
Yes, no, sir. And conditioning is so exclusively tied to emotion.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And that's why you said doesn't talk about this on the show, other episodes, and cats. Sencere, yours podcast. But we talk about the difference between conditioning versus teaching,
Right.
right?
Mm.
And I think that a lot of I think it goes both ways. I think there's from that perspective, talking about being submissive, from a woman's perspective, yeah, they feel like they're giving up a leg, an eye, an arm. They feel like they are losing who they are.
Right.
Right? They feel like that means that I got to do everything somebody tell me. That's how marriage is not about that, but it is about understanding who's the head of the house.
Correct.
And you can have an opinion, right? You should have an opinion because you play a critical role in the success of the house. But at the end of the day, when you're dealing with a man and the head of the household, ultimately is going to have to go the way that he deems it to go. Correct. Because we talk about this all the time. If we lose everything we have, if I lose, if we lose everything we have, the neighborhood and all our friends is going to be talking about me. They ain't going to say nothing about Kay Caffey. And she could have been the one that's tricking up the money. But they don't look at me.
Never.
Can't believe that. Oh, man. He lost everything.
He lost everything.
Yeah.
He doing all this and doing all the whole time. He won't pay his wouldn't pay his bill. So my point, what I'm making is, I think that it goes both ways. And tonight's episode is not just about talking about women, because there's some punks, there's some suckers out there. We said passenger prince, right?
Yeah, let's talk.
So
Let's get into the passenger princes.
Look, it goes both ways. There's some guys who feel very comfortable, but with deferring their roles and responsibilities to their wife or their significant other, right? And I'm not. It's no excuse for that, right? But I do know that some men, in what I've seen, right? So I'm not making absolute statements, right, tonight. I think a lot of times in those situations, I think that men that do defer to their wives and let their wife be the head of the household or do everything, whether it's the cooking, cleaning, child nurturing, handle all of the finances. She's spiritual. She goes to church. He stays at home and drinks on Sundays. And it's a mixed bag of situations out there. But I think that it's rooted deeper in something else, that when a man really relinquishes that role and I'm head of the household.
I'm going to have a short comment because I'm new. Miss K. Kelly, I got some things to say. I like what you said, defer. It's some men that will defer.
Yeah.
Because they're comfortable in not having any responsibility. But that's not the right man. But there are certain situations, and we go back to an earlier statement, that there are certain situations where that man could be stripped of his rightful place as the leader of the household based on the comments to him. If a person is always getting a comment, you're always doing something wrong. You never do it right. It's always your fault. Guess what you're gonna do? As a man, you will say, "Man, I ain't doing nothing." Because
I'm gonna get me a new one. I'm gonna
but
exchange
that too. But eventually you're gonna pull back because all you get is you never do it right.
Yeah.
You're always doing something wrong. So some men get stripped out of that based off of what's transpiring in the conversation. And I'm not saying it's always that case, but it happens from time to time because as men and as married couples, if you constantly beating down either one, human nature's I'm gonna pull back. I ain't gonna do a dang thing. Because no matter what I'm gonna do, you're gonna have something to say negative about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's real. I think that's probably relevant in situations. I just know the type of person that I am.
Right.
We get chance about it and get something better. I'm a upgrade or I'm a replace. That is how I operate. And you look, we all know men. You talk about men. We all know guys that are in those situations. Right? And I do believe, to your point, that there can be so much negativity, the constant criticizing, the constant
nagging. You go and say it, nagging.
letting down. I know, nagging.
Nagging.
You know, really can you in uncomfortable situation. Because I think some of the guys, and I don't want to speak in absolute.
Mm-hmm.
I think some guys that do relinquish that role doesn't mean that they don't contribute to the house.
No.
Because that concept, the concept I'm about to explain, that was a staple in our lives generations ago, where the man just worked, came home, gave his check.
Right.
You want everybody to leave him the fuck alone.
Okay.
So that's not a new concept. You know what I mean? Like, Big Mama used to get his check. He would come home from working or across town from his other family or whatever, but he would bring that check on Friday and give it to her. And he wanted everybody else to leave him alone in the house. You know what I mean? So why is it different today than it was in the past? Because back then they wasn't considered bitch ass niggas. They weren't considered weak men. That was just the norm. That was acceptable.
It was a different dynamic, and you didn't have the same because women were in the household. Women were homemakers. So I think that was different. So now we have the entrance. Now we have the entrance of the modern woman.
Okay.
So and you have in most homes and families, it's a dual earning home. So both people are working. It's not, most homes are. So I think that comes with different expectations. It's not going to be, and people handle their finances, everything probably, differently than they did before.
Is it different expectations, or is it now that there's dual breadwinners or Hermans in the house? A woman now thinks that she's equal or has the same rights, or because I don't want
rights.
Rights is us.
I don't think that's what you meant.
And I can articulate it a lot better.
You can.
What I'm saying is
even playing field.
Even playing field now, because she
not
also brings finances to the house.
Yeah.
Per se should now be equal of value. Or she feels that she doesn't have to.
I don't think it's all that.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Please. So I think when it comes down to it, I think it's something that you said, Big Mike, at the beginning of the show, is when you're coming in to anything, a new job, a relationship, you got to set the ground rules. This is what I want. This is what I need. This is what I can bring. This is what I can do. If I can't do it, I'm gonna let you know that I can do it. And if I can't do it, we're gonna work on it together. I think you just have to set those expectations. And I think also what happens with people is I think we have to start being realistic about who we're also attracting. Because I know situations where people will say that they want a man to come in and handle things and be that breadwinner, but then they go and attract a guy that they have to carry, and then are upset when they're not breadwinning when he wasn't when you met him, and along even let's say and that's fine, and you can meet people and have potential and grow, and that's all, but they have to be moving towards that and growing in that. But I think sometimes we meet people and get into relationship with people because we know they might because we're able to control them sometimes because we want control.
I want to.
And then and I think women, and I hate to say this,
She
ladies,
take the
I
buck
do
in.
I think sometimes women do this a
A lot.
little bit more than men.
A lot.
I'm so sorry. I love
A
y'all.
lot.
But I think we do, and I don't know if it's intentional that we do it, but I think we do it, and then we sit up and we say, oh, he ain't nothing, he's this and he's that. But one, we picked him. Two, we stayed with him. Three, we had kids. We did all these things, but we're not accepting that there was probably a reason why we selected or why we attracted a guy like that in the first place.
Before you jump in, I want to ask a question before you go.
Oh man, you asking a lot.
So, what you just described, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything you described is a choice.
Mm-hmm.
It
Everything's
is.
a choice.
It is.
So why do women constantly say it's so hard to love someone who's just along for the ride, right? Because what you just described,
Yeah,
you already know what you're getting.
Yeah, I know.
So again, why is it so hard to love someone who's just along for the ride, and she's the only one push the gas, paying the tolls, and ultimately fixing the car every time it breaks down?
I think as women, we look. Sometimes we're nurturers, so I think we also are open to projects.
Yes.
Yes. I think we're sometimes
Elaborate.
meaning we think like, oh, he has potential. We're looking for someone to build up, and what happens is what we're gonna put into him, invest in him, and then when that investment we don't get the return on our investment, then that's when we have a
waiting for you to go there because I knew you were.
We have a problem.
I knew you was gonna go there.
I want to go back to something she said earlier and elaborate on something you said and combine the two.
Okay.
Kay College said something about working with them and nurturing them and things like that. Working on them.
Build a man like build.
Right. Build a man. Working on them. And you say, I'm gonna find myself new if she tripping. Basically, earlier. Today's society, when you combine the two, that's our problem. When I listen to both sides, that's our problem as a culture. Because the first thing is we want somebody to work on. Then if it doesn't fall together, we say, I'm out.
Yeah.
We too fast to say I'm gone, and we're too busy working to change somebody. And it's not our job to change them.
It's not.
And when you say working on it, I'm not a project. I came, but I know they do that. But you came in. We had this conversation a long time ago. We was talking about a dude that has 8 babies, eight baby moms, and you come along and think I'm gonna change him. My man ain't changing.
Right.
He not changing. I don't care how many times. You number 9. That's all you're gonna be, number 9 baby mama. There's not a project. You're trying to change someone that is not willing to change.
Yeah.
But let me clarify what I said when I'm going to replace it. Right? Men typically they don't want you. Men, we whatever we say, whatever we see, whatever we purchase, we want it to stay the same. Yeah, that's how men use.
I'm waiting till you finish.
Men, when we see something and we like it, and we wife it, we marry it. We want you to do all that shit you was doing to get you to the ring. We don't care about no kids. We don't care about none of that. We want you to do all those things.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were less mouthy or not mouthy at all when I decided to wife you, then I want you to continue to be less mouthy. That's how men operate. So that's why I'm saying, like, men,
Men.
like, they're not going to sit around and let a woman just berate them and, assassinate their character and make them feel less than. They're going to hit the market again and try to choose better. This is how men operate. So men, it ain't really no project with men. Men marry down all the time. It's a fact. Men marry down all the time. How many times do we have to tell you all? How many languages do we have to express to you? Your money don't mean shit to a man.
Mm-hmm.
It don't. So you can work your little, and I'm not going to be facetious. You can work. You can have a successful career.
Mm-hmm.
You can make money. You could even be the breadwinner.
Mm-hmm.
But a manly man don't give a fuck about none of that. He's still a man.
Mm-hmm.
I talk talk to younger guys all the time. He's like, well, how would you feel if your wife made more money than you? I wouldn't feel no fucking way. I feel some sort of way if I don't have access to the money. But to all jokes aside, for me, if my wife made more money than me, you know what I'm gonna make sure if I don't pay any other bill, you know what bill I'm gonna make sure I pay? Fucking mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I don't think men don't want women to change. Again, when we choose you, wife you, we want you to stay the same way.
Yeah.
Again, all that freaky shit you did, all that shit you do to get us where to be willing to wife you and give you our last name, we want you to keep doing that shit at 65, 70 until we get
65.
Fuck yeah. Until we go.
And
that's how we do it.
I'm gonna agree and I'm gonna disagree
65.
because
okay.
we don't want you to change, but we want you to change because you want me to change. And what I mean by change,
Transition is natural.
yeah. And that's what I mean.
I'm not trying to change who you are.
Right.
Core of who you are.
I just wanted to clear it up. We all want to change. I want you to grow as I grow, and I want to grow as you grow.
Absolutely.
Yep.
We're supposed to get stronger. That growth is supporting each other, praying for each other, building wealth for each other, building a stable household. So we all change. In some places, I might get less mild, she might get less mild as we grow, because evolution is inevitable. So the more you together, and they go to keyword, the more you respect each other, the more I don't want you to lose your individuality.
Yeah.
And a lot of people want you to lose who you are. I don't want you to lose who you are, because that part of you is you.
Yeah.
When you start being somebody else is where the relationship goes bad.
Goes wrong.
Because I didn't come in here for you to change after 10 years or change after 8 years to become, now you want to be the neighbor because she don't do such. You said, I didn't marry the neighbor. That's good for their household. What's good for our household is what we do.
But that's also an understanding that you came to at the beginning. And I think sometimes the reason why I'm thinking about it when people don't talk about things is one, maybe, begin at the beginning of their relationship, maybe they don't seek counseling. I think that's always a good thing to do. But I also think even if they don't seek counseling, I think sometimes maybe you don't know what to ask. Like, especially if you're younger in your relationship or never been married or never been in a serious relationship, sometimes you don't really know what to ask. You don't know till you kind of in it, and you kind of think you go into relationships kind of winging it a little bit.
But for the people that's in relationships, young relationships, I'll express to them, over communication is the best communication.
Yeah.
So let me ask both of you.
Mm-hmm.
You're in a relationship, in a marriage.
Okay.
And we're not even going to identify which sex is the leader. Right? Okay. Just listen to the question.
Okay.
When it comes down to, planning everything, trips, holidays, date night,
Okay.
future goals, and you find yourself or your partner continuously says every time when you're talking about these things, I trust you. I trust you.
Mm-hmm.
What goes through your mind if you were in a situation like that? When the tough decisions, or not even tough decisions, just things I just described, right?
Mm-hmm.
The partner never has any input really. They just say, I trust you to lead. I trust you to lead. I'm gonna just go with the flow, whatever you decide to do. Does that mean that they're a passenger prince or a passenger princess? Does it mean that they just don't really want to put the work in and they're relying so for you to take the
I, I wouldn't say that. Not based off of the context of the questions that you laid out. I wouldn't
lead?
say
This is all like they never make a decision
for
on
anything.
anything. They're comfortable with you making just all the decisions.
Oh, well, that's not a partnership. That's not a team. I will say people have different strong suits. So some things may be, the wife's strong suit, some things may be the husband. And I think it's best to kind of understand that and kind of divide things up. I think what you're getting at, it feels like someone's not carrying their weight, but it's also, I'll take it a step further. It's not about money. It's also about emotional investment.
Hold on. Thank you.
Am I jumping ahead?
No, you're not. It's a great
I
segues right into where I was trying.
Am I doing good?
And I think when, based off tonight's topic, could it be that, to your point, maybe people are mislabeling or misidentifying what that is? See, I look at it like this in a relationship. When your relationship is balanced, right? And I'm not going to get into the man being the leader. I think I've already let everybody know where I stand on that. But I do also think that in a partnership,
Mm-hmm.
I think that you can be the emotional leader and I can be the financial leader and the spiritual leader and the physical leader.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in a relationship, the right balance, you can take on some roles and perhaps lead.
Mm-hmm.
Or I can defer to you in certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Like when it gets down to emotional leadership, you can have it. You know what I'm saying? To an extent, right? I'm not going to defer everything, but I also understand, men, right? I emphasize men, and I don't want to come across like we're emotionless because that's a fallacy. That's not real, right? Everybody is has emotion. Men just typically have the ability to handle and control their emotions a lot better sometimes than the opposite sex.
Not driven by it. Don't lead with it.
We're not led by emotion. We're most time led by logic. So my point is, I think when you get these labels, there's roles and responsibilities of each of us. Mm-hmm. Now, again, we just went through. We talked about emotional leader. We're going to talk about spiritual leader, physical leader, financial leader. We're going to talk about all of those different roles. I think when it's spot on and it's obvious that somebody is just along for the ride, when they defer all of those roles to the partner. Man can't ignore, watching laugh, always wanting more. Get ready for the show.